Mr Beast just sat down for a brilliant 2.5-hour conversation on the Joe Rogan Experience. It's an interview full of really great advice and motivation for budding content creators, and I really do recommend you listen to the whole thing in full. But in this video, I want to share with you what I think are the top 5 lessons to take away for aspiring YouTubers, starting at the beginning. It might be hard to believe now, but Mr Beast was not an overnight success. He actually started his channel over a decade ago when he was only 11 years old. And back then, he wasn't the loud, confident persona that you see in his videos today. In the interview, Mr Beast talks about how he was just another shy, awkward kid making terrible gaming videos. He had no proper equipment and he barely got any views. So his current confident video persona that you see on screen is something that he's built up over years and years of practice. So if you're an aspiring YouTuber who's struggling to build up confidence on camera, it's worth remembering that one of the platform's biggest creators was once in the same boat. But something that Mr Beast always had was a passion for what he was doing and a drive to succeed. And that leads us on to the next lesson from this interview, which is all about dedication. Mr Beast describes himself as having a hyper obsession with YouTube. These days, he's known as a guy who basically has a sixth sense for creating the most viral video content. It's almost guaranteed that every video that he uploads gets tens of millions of views. But this is no fluke. He gained this knowledge over years and years of intense study, and obviously, he didn't learn this at school. Mr Beast tells Joe Rogan that he used to bunk off his college classes to either go and sit in his car and make YouTube videos, or sit there having hours of discussions with other small YouTubers, researching what makes a great video, what makes a great title. He would spend up to 15 hours a day studying thousands of YouTube thumbnails to see if the brightness in certain designs had an effect on the final view count. He also used to watch all of the videos on the trending page and count the amount of editing cuts in each of them, just to study what makes the best pacing in a video. So his pure obsession and dedication to the details of the platform have made him an expert in his craft. But over the years, he has also become an expert in the business side of things. Mr Beast makes a lot of money from his YouTube videos, but instead of living a luxury lifestyle like a lot of other big YouTubers, he actually reinvests all of that money back into making new content. And this is actually something he did from the very beginning. At 18 years old, he started getting paid $1 a day from YouTube AdSense, and he decided to save up that money to buy a new microphone and then a new computer for editing. But it didn't stop there. He has taken this way of thinking through to this very day. Except now, he invests millions of dollars into creating the most amazing sets or buying tropical islands just to film a video. He also recognized the need to scale up and start hiring more people, just like a traditional business, all in the name of making bigger and better content going forward. Essentially, to grow more, you have to spend more, and that's exactly what he's done. Another really interesting part of the interview is when he talks about what his normal working week looks like. And as you can imagine, for a guy who now has over 100 employees and several different YouTube channels, it's pretty hectic. On Mondays and Tuesdays, he films for his gaming and reaction channels. Then on Wednesdays through to Fridays, he films those bigger videos for his main channel. Then on Saturday, he doesn't take time off. That's when he focuses on his side businesses like Beast Burger. And eventually on Sunday, he tries to take the day off. But this just once again shows how dedicated he is to carry on growing despite how big he already is. But what I think is the most interesting part of this whole interview is when he talks about video ideas. For Mr Beast, success on YouTube comes down to dividing your attention and effort into the right areas. And he says he spent in the region of 10,000 hours only brainstorming new ideas for YouTube videos, which just goes to show how much he values that part of the process. The example he uses in the interview is that the difference between a 1 million view video and a 30 million view video isn't necessarily 30 times the effort. In fact, it's usually more like 2 or 3 times the effort, but you're starting with the best idea possible. And this is exactly why Mr Beast spends at least an hour a day just brainstorming new ideas, and he uses lots of different methods to do that. Sometimes he'll use a random word generator, and he says he's even tried lucid dreaming. And often it's just things like taking inspiration from travel, or even just flipping through the dictionary. Putting maximum effort into this part of the process is a huge reason as to why he's so successful and why his videos are just so enticing to watch. Because you can make the most polished and well-made video in the world, but if that central idea isn't that interesting, then people just aren't going to watch. Overall, I think the key message to take away from this interview is that none of this would have been possible for Mr Beast if he hadn't found his true calling at such an early age. To put this much effort in over so many years, you need to be truly passionate about what you're doing, and Mr Beast clearly is. So those are my 5 key takeaways for smaller YouTubers from the Mr Beast Joe Rogan interview. If you want to watch the whole thing, I've left a link down below, and if you've already seen it, let me know which part was most interesting for you. But in the meantime, if you found this video useful, make sure you leave it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I'll see you next time.